Thank you for calling the Dallas Division of the FBI.
So guys, this is the first time I've called the FBI. I have worked with them through another individual named Judy Byington, who used to work closely with the state of Utah and MHMR there. She had her own private practice, and she began to see a lot of the same type of characteristics in the victims, what amounted to satanic ritual abuse, and she was very kind of instrumental in being able to identify these types of abuse and characterize it in such a way that it could be identifiable later on. And I learned a lot from her. And we actually did a radio interview, CIA Satanic Ritual Abuse, back in late 2014. And so just wanted to kind of mention that. And you know, I don't know if I was saying something wrong to these people. I don't know if they're already looking at me and they think I'm doing something wrong or what, but clearly they don't have their facts straight, or they're trying to cover something up. I hate to even think that about anybody, and I don't want to, you know, insinuate that. And I'm on record saying there's great people at the FBI many different times, on radio, online, and so forth. And so sometimes I do get a little upset, and if I'm considering something, it doesn't mean that I'm threatening someone. And my primary objective in this investigation is to be peaceful, have a positive resolution, and to be able to work this through. And I'm not seeing any action taking part on this in Calhoun County. And you know, when I say that Judy has helped outline the characteristics to be identifiable, she really has, and they are so clear in this case. After what I've put together, there is absolutely no doubt on my part that this is going on in Calhoun County. And you know, we also have other state agencies. You know, the Rangers kind of floating around me lately. They're real quiet. They're looking at me and blah blah blah. And, you know, they don't realize that they don't have access to a dossier for me, and they don't have really the attention span probably to look into my work and see how it's correlative and how it does actually make sense if you look at it in the proper way. And I do have difficulty explaining myself to people sometimes, and there's lots of different reasons for that. But one of the ways in which I do talk is analogous, and this is a method of being cryptic in such a way that you can classify stuff yourself by doing just that, by being analogous and using narratives and so on. So, you know, the thing is, I didn't feel very well received by them, and I've been involved in some pretty heavy stuff in my life. And I'm just going to let you guys hear this. I'm going to skip up into the call, and please pay attention. You know, this is a developing investigation, and you know, I got a little angry at the people because I haven't seen any action. I understand it's the holidays and so on. Again, I have seen this MO. Okay. So,
and I've done my own investigation into this, and I've uncovered quite a bit of information, some of which is open source, and the corroborative evidence from the testimony that I've collected is.
And who are these political officials, sir?
We're looking at people in Calhoun County right now. County government. I've already.
And I need names of these people.
Okay, we've got Judge Raleigh. He's a magistrate judge.
Judge Riley, R-I-L-E-Y?
R-A-L-E-E-H. If you pull up a file on him, you'll see his daughter was busted by Secret Service for counterfeit.
Sir, that is not something I can do, okay? Let's stick to the facts here. It's all.
The fact is, Morgan Raleigh, Judge Raleigh's daughter, was, in fact, busted by the Secret Service and 2 other agencies for counterfeiting. So she misspoke right there. She was being kind of condescending. She was assuming things, and maybe that was due to the way that I was saying this to her. I don't feel that way, but...
R-L-E-E-H?
Yes, R-A-L-E-E-H.
And the next person?
I think that's a good place for you guys to start.
And how do you know Judge Riley is involved in child sex crimes?
Because I was told this by somebody who's very close to his family.
And that's true. But I'm also a psychic asset. And so I can read very deeply into these situations and often have a very profound effect in them. So.
And
by whom, sir? Because right now this is hearsay. So who was you told by?
Okay, his name is, should I have his name written down? His nickname.
At this point, I don't even trust them to give his name, as his position is very sensitive.
Is Rooster, and he is currently incarcerated in the Collin County Detention Facility. He was the pimp and self-described.
Okay, so Rooster is in the what jail?
Collin County Jail. I let this information. Yes, Collin County Jail. His safety is a concern of mine.
Sir, since you are getting a little upset with me for asking questions,
I'm not upset with you.
Okay, so you reported it. So
No.
you last reported, what is going on now since you reported it already?
That's a matter of my investigation, actually. That is something that I'm looking into right now. I'm trying to figure out what you guys are doing about it because I've already left you some tips and I want to see if I can help. That's why I'm here. I don't mean to be rude to you.
I can't answer that question because what this is a tip line. There are no officers here in this office. So what we need to do is get the information and forward it on to an agent. Okay, so
yes,
this Rooster, you don't know his name. He is in the Collin County Jail, and he was a pimp for who?
For Judge Raleigh's daughter, who has an extensive criminal history, and again was busted for counterfeiting by Secret Service, and that's how this investigation fell to my lap. Excuse me?
Okay, you say that he was a pimp for this judge's daughter. What is her name?
Her name is Morgan Raleigh. Raleeh. I'm going to give you one more name, and it's very important.
Okay.
Dustin Raleigh, Raleeh, indicted on 11 counts of continuous sexual assault on a minor. He pled down. He's currently serving out a 20-year sentence after being sentenced for an investigation that stemmed from the Allen Police Department and was prosecuted by the DA in Collin County.
Okay, so he's already been arrested. He's doing his time. So what is going on with him now?
He's a key witness.
When was he arrested? Okay, when was he arrested?
That information is available online. I don't have it right on the top of my head right now. But I certainly don't hope that you think I'm being difficult with you. This is a difficult thing for me to discuss with you, so I'm sorry about that. What else do you need to know?
Okay, so how do you know all this, other than Rooster, who is in jail, told you?
How do I know what?
You witnessed?
I would like to go ahead and make note of something here. I do have a federal marshal on tape, just like I do here with this FBI screener. This is an actual marshal acknowledging the fact that they do know that these guys are involved with kiddie porn, okay? I did not mention that to the FBI at that time because I didn't think that they really needed to know that information. I certainly didn't feel that they were being objective about anything.
Any of this information?
I have witnessed a clear MO. To answer your question, no, I have not.
Okay.
No, I have not. Have I uncovered the clear MO of child predators? And let me tell you, I have worked with FBI before regarding satanic ritual abuse, was a person named Judy Byington. Okay, and she was very central to some.
What was Judy's last name?
Byington, and she was very central to some investigations done by FBI, and I have worked with her. In fact, you can hear me speaking with her on a radio show that I did with her. And
Judy Byington is an FBI officer?
No, she worked closely with FBI as a mental health worker. MHMR worked closely with the state of Utah, and began to have these victims coming in that all had the same characteristics, that had been involved in the same types of things. And I have been very astute with investigating these things, and I am very well qualified to identify the MO with this. And there's more information. There's quite a lot of information here that I have for you. And all this information arose from an investigation that I was working on from another government agency, ma'am. Okay? And I'm outside of my jurisdictional capabilities with this investigation at this time, and that is my reasoning for calling you right now. Okay? And
all right, sir.
So, I'm trying to be collaborative with federal law enforcement at this time that does have jurisdiction over these crimes, so they can be acted upon. And the information is time sensitive.
Okay. So you reported this online. Have you ever called in before and reported this?
No, I have not. Let me tell you, the only other time that I had interaction with FBI was when I was working with a guy named Gary Vanderboe, who was a whistleblower protection individual from under the Department of Energy. And at that time, this was back in, I think, 2014. 2014, if I'm not mistaken. I might be incorrect, but bottom line, he is now a nuclear workers advocate. He was a project manager for Lockheed Martin. He designed landfills and other things for them as an engineer. And the weapons of mass destruction coordinator from the Bureau got involved with this. And I was kind of made privy that we were under surveillance.
But I want to be clear about something. I investigate corruption. I work with several different elements within the IC as a civilian and a participant in these investigations. And that is not a matter of opinion. And so I think I have illustrated that very well over the years. And I've been very blessed to work with some very good people. And so I have a bias when I'm talking to people like this. And perhaps that's my Achilles heel with this. And while it's a struggle for me, because I always do want to try to see that good in somebody. So I certainly haven't seen it out of the DA's office in Collin County. They have targeted me extensively. I will be uploading some videos of the electronic harassment that they have placed me under with the ankle monitor. And they've got a big surprise coming with that. So that's going to be a mess for them. You know, they can try to contrive these things against me, but I feel very steadfast and strong in the investigation. I don't trust these people, and they have a lot to lose. And so they're going to try to hide this stuff. And that's definitely how I feel about it. And I know that there's some good people out there. God bless. And I'm looking for you guys who are monitoring. I'm looking for you guys who are listening and recording, getting into my phone and all of this stuff. I'm aware of this. And, you know, I do have sources that I work with that do monitor and regulate that information flow. And I trust them because they've gotten me through some really thick shit over the years. And God has used these people in my life. That's kind of my testimony. And so, you know, please listen to the rest of this.
By FBI at that time, which was no big deal. I mean, we weren't doing anything wrong. They were wondering kind of what the issue was. And according to my buddy Bobby, he seemed like a great guy. He seemed that he was genuinely concerned about his kids' future and so on and so forth with the improper disposal of radioactive isotopes. So that's what we were working on at that time. And so the only other interaction that well, not the only, but the most recent interaction that I've had with FBI is telling my buddy that basically we were under surveillance, and the weapons of mass destruction coordinator knocked on his door about 5 minutes later. So that's actually a matter of public record. I released that stuff on Facebook. We use that on a DARPA platform. That's the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency sponsored program, social media and strategic communication. And so,
okay, so we're not okay. Let's get back to the child, the child sex trafficking. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, have you noticed any of the children? Do you know any of the children involved?
Do I personally know? No, I don't.
She sounds like there's been some information forwarded to her about this as they've tried to cover this up. That's what I suspect at this point. And again, I have a bias, but maybe she's just being objective in her screening. It's possible.
Do I have clear evidence for you guys to start digging in more to this on behalf of child victims? Yes, I do. And that's my purpose here for you.
What information is that, sir?
Well, the information regarding his youngest son and
whose youngest son?
Judge Raleigh. He has another son.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure how old he is, and I don't know his name. I've never met the boy, but the concern ultimately stems for his safety in this investigation. And when I identified this MO, again, which I am exceedingly qualified to do, having been...
Let me ask one more question. Hold on, before we go any farther. So, you don't know this child's name. What are they doing to this child?
That's something that I want you to figure out. Do you understand?
Well...
They're grooming him to be an asset, is what it looks like to me. And having firsthand experience with this, that's definitely what it looks like.
Sir, you're calling and reporting it, so I need to go...
I'm calling and telling you that I've identified the clear MO of satanic ritual abuse in a child victim after working with FBI previously through a contact that I had who worked with FBI, who has also worked extensively and basically pioneered this area of, call it research or psychology, psychiatry. Call it what you want. She is a pioneer in this. She has worked with you guys in the past. And, it's something that, again, I have been very involved with investigating. And so, if I can speak to an agent about this, probably somebody who has a little bit more of an investigative mind, I would be able to probably articulate myself more clearly to them in a way that they would understand and hopefully have some more concern than you do. It basically sounds like
you need more concern than I do, sir.
Frankly, I think you're being a little bit rude. I'm recording this call as well.
I'm trying to get information.
Okay. Yeah, you're being recorded as well, okay?
That is correct. I am being recorded on this line.
On my end, okay? So, I don't know what you want to do from here, but I would appreciate... I don't...
One of the things that Judy said that was very emphasized by her was the fact that they would hide people very strategically themselves within the Bureau to cover this information up. She specifically said that after extensively working with the FBI. Okay?
I want to say I expect the call back to be rude, but I would be very hopeful that I get a call back from an agent promptly. Okay?
And I can't guarantee that, sir. What I do is I will document this call, send it on. It is up to the agent whether he wants to contact you back once he reads the information.
Who is he?
I have no idea.
Okay.
We have no idea who the agent will be and when or if they will call back. We don't have that information here in this office.
Okay, that's cool. I appreciate your help. What's your name, ma'am?
My ID number is 9046.
I appreciate your help. I don't, it's just a sensitive situation. Did I say something that upsetted you, or does the subject upset you? Does the nature of the subject?
Have a good day, sir.
Okay.
I'm not going to answer those questions. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
She found out she was being recorded and she wanted to stop, boy. And of course, it has been recently ruled that it's legal to secretly record government officials. So that's convenient that we had a judge do that for us up in Massachusetts. That was just like on the 11th of December. And so all of this stuff is coming together. There's a group of judges out here who think this stuff is terrible. And there's a group of judges who keep it very well hidden and do their own thing. It's ritualistic, and it's a place where they come to congregate and basically prey on people within the judicial and law enforcement communities. And that's something that I am, like a pit bull with. I will lock onto it and not let go. And just, guys, I've been fighting this thing for so long. I'm not ashamed to say that I asked for this assignment. Okay? And you don't want to find out from whom I asked for this assignment. So that is very sensitive information, and we have a lot to protect as well. And everybody should be focused on cleaning this out. And how could anybody want to be involved with hurting kids? I just don't get it. And so I did already release the information that this marshal acknowledges the fact that these guys that we're talking about are involved in kiddie porn, but it's outside of their jurisdiction. So that's poignant. These FBI guys, you don't want to follow up on this, you can kiss my ass, because we know we've already got them on some stuff. Maybe those of you who are monitoring this on behalf of FBI can take note of what I just said and be like, wow, what did he say? They've got kiddie porn? If you really want to work on a case like this that does have bona fide kiddie porn things, unless I misunderstood this, Marshall, you can go listen to it for yourself, but it certainly sounded like he acknowledged that there. And so I do thank him for that. And that is now public information on my newest YouTube channel. And so these guys want to come and pick me up for this probation violation on this social media ban, and that's going to cause a fucking shitstorm. I'm probably gonna take off, and I'm gonna ask the marshals to give me some breathing room on that, and I appreciate it, because I'll cooperate with you guys fully, but this is a matter of my safety, and they have a protocol within the marshals. If I have a warrant, they need to deliver me to these people, and I've had marshals go as far to say that they do suspect that this stuff is going on within Collin County. So that is probably the most positive aspect of this. Man, this is not going away. Okay, we are not going to fight this, and these guys are being real vehement. They're trying to cover this up, and so we need community support. We need people to help us with this on behalf of these kids, guys. They need our help, and so please, man, I'm trying to protect myself, and sometimes I get so fucking angry about this. God forbid these, look, he said this online. Fuck you guys. It's not going to make it to that point, because we've got some concrete stuff on y'all. And, I don't want to get into anything else other than that, but I do feel like there's a lot more to say about this. I'm going to include Judy Byington's website, which is called 22 Faces, and that is a reference to the altars that are put into these people. 22 different altars. It's just hardcore. And so there it is. And she's got some great information in here, boy. She really does. Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh, this is to buy. Huh. Fatal error? Huh. Wow. All right, well, that's weird.